Did you guys know that I have magnetic veins? Yeah, it's true. No, metal doesn't stick to me because I have a special demagnetizing electromagnetic force field that's projected from a microscopic device that was implanted into my cornea. Duh. Hi, I'm V, and today we're talking about lying. So, let's take your curious craniums through the top 5 unsettling times Bob Lazar was exposed as a liar. Number 5, security clearance. Bob Lazar has made bold claims about the level of security clearance he held while allegedly working at the classified facility he calls S4. But there are significant reasons to doubt the accuracy of Lazar's statements regarding his security clearance. Lazar claims that he possessed a high-level security clearance known as Q clearance, which was granted by the Department of Energy. Official records from the DOE do not corroborate Lazar's claims. The department has stated that they have no records of Lazar ever holding a Q clearance, and that they have no records or recollection of him. Lazar's descriptions of the security protocols he encountered during his alleged employment at S4 have also been called into question. He has mentioned undergoing hand scanning procedures for access to facilities, claiming that the technology used was highly advanced and not commercially available at the time. However, the technology Lazar describes was not created or implemented anywhere until years after his alleged employment, further disrupting the timeline of events he presented. Lazar's inability to provide any tangible evidence or documentation to support his security clearance claims further weakens his credibility. Despite being asked multiple times, Lazar has failed to produce any official records, badges, or identification cards that would validate his stories. The absence of such basic, simple evidence raises suspicions about the authenticity of his security clearance. Lazar's security clearance claims are also contradicted by the US government's complete denial of the existence of the facility where he alleged to have work. That's right, S4 doesn't even exist. The US Air Force, which oversees Area 51 and related facilities, has denied the existence of S4 and any involvement in extraterrestrial technology research. There are so many reasons to question the accuracy of Bob Lazar's claims regarding his security clearance. The lack of official records from the Department of Energy, inconsistencies in Lazar's descriptions of security protocols, his inability to produce supporting documentation. You know, we're gonna get into everything soon, so don't even worry your pretty little head about it. Number 4, legal turbulence. Bob Lazar, a controversial figure, known for his claims of working on reverse engineering alien technology at a secretive facility near Area 51, has definitely experienced several legal issues and charges over the years. These legal troubles have added a layer of complexity to the already contentious debate surrounding his credibility and the authenticity of any of his claims. One of the earliest legal issues involving Bob Lazar occurred in 1990 when he was arrested and charged with aiding and abetting a certain kind of worker. This arrest stemmed from his alleged involvement in running a brothel, which operated in the vicinity of Las Vegas. Lazar eventually pleaded guilty to the charges, receiving probation and community service as a part of his sentence. In 2003, federal authorities raided Lazar's United Nuclear Scientific Equipment and Supplies business. The raid was prompted by suspicions of illegal sales and the distribution of restricted materials. Lazar's business sold various scientific and chemical supplies, some of which raised concerns about their potential use in illegal activities. The authorities confiscated chemical substances and equipment, leading to accusations that Lazar was knowingly involved in selling materials that would be misused. Lazar has faced several other legal issues and disputes, including financial troubles. He has been involved in lawsuits related to business debts, unpaid taxes, and disputes with former employees. These legal entanglements have cast a shadow over his public image, as critics argue that they raise questions about his integrity and financial practices. Some view these legal troubles as evidence of Lazar's untrustworthiness and the potential motivation for his UFO-related claims. However, supporters of Lazar argue that the legal issues do not inherently discredit his claims about his work. The legal controversies surrounding Bob Lazar add another layer of unnecessary complexity to the already overly complex debate surrounding his credibility. In the absence of concrete evidence to definitively prove or disprove Lazar's claims, the legal issues he faced are placed at the forefront to be a topic of discussion and scrutiny. Ultimately, the debate surrounding Bob Lazar remains a highly polarizing and controversial one, with supporters and skeptics offering passionate and contrasting views on his credibility and the authenticity of his claims. Number 3, educational history. Bob Lazar has made bold claims about his educational history, saying that he holds degrees from prestigious institutions like the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and the California Institute of Technology. However, there is a lack of verifiable evidence to back up these claims, and multiple inconsistencies have been uncovered, raising more doubts about Lazar's educational background. One of Lazar's main claims is that he earned a degree in physics from MIT, but when investigative journalists and researchers attempted to verify his attendance or graduation from MIT, they hit a dead end. MIT has no records of Lazar ever being enrolled as a student or even receiving a degree. And okay, I wouldn't call that a dead end. I would call that evidence not being there would prove that he never went there, but okay. The absence of any official documentation from the institution demonstrates the cracks in Lazar's educational claims. Lazar has also claimed to have attended and graduated from Caltech, because why shoot for one when you could snag both fake degrees? Yet again, unsurprisingly, there is no evidence to substantiate this claim. Caltech has zero records of Lazar attending, graduating, or even touring their institution. Investigative journalist George Knapp, who extensively researched Lazar's background, stated, "MIT and Caltech have no record of him. He's not a physicist, he's not an engineer, and we can't find any trace of him." To further hammer down the doubts around Lazar's educational history, major discrepancies have been found in his statements regarding his academic achievements. In an interview with George Knapp, Lazar claimed to have attended the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena. However, in a separate interview with another investigative journalist, Lazar stated that his academic endeavors were split between Caltech and Pacific University, a defunct institution that has no records of Lazar attending either. So that's 3 schools he's claiming to have attended, and 2 of them were occurring at the same time. Okay, that's a complicated arrangement, so they would definitely have some record of that. The absence of any and all evidence from MIT, Caltech, and any other academic institutions raises serious questions about Lazar's claims. That, combined with the inconsistencies in his statements, show that he has clearly fabricated and embellished his academic achievements. Unless Lazar can provide verifiable evidence to substantiate his claims, it's reasonable to approach his educational history with a lot of doubt. Number 2, evidence with quotations. As we have learned, when examining any evidence provided directly by Bob Lazar, there are several reasons to question authenticity and credibility. One of the key pieces of evidence Lazar has offered is the claim that he possessed briefing documents from his alleged time at the classified facility S4. However, Lazar has failed to produce these documents for independent verification or for general scrutiny. Despite numerous requests from researchers and investigators, Lazar has not provided any tangible evidence to substantiate his claim of possessing these highly classified documents. Lazar has also said that he witnessed and interacted with advanced extraterrestrial propulsion systems during his time at S4, but it's Bob we're dealing with here, so the evidence he has provided to support these claims is limited and lacks the necessary scientific rigor and lacks the necessary scientific rigor. And by limited, I mean non-existent or doctored. Lazar has not produced any physical evidence, like photographs or samples, to corroborate his bold claims. This absence of tangible evidence obviously raises reasonable doubts about the existence of the technologies he describes. Lazar's alleged possession of a stable element called element 115 has been a focal point of his claims. Lazar's explanations of this element and its properties have been inconsistent and commonly contradictory. He initially claimed that this element was the key to the aforementioned advanced extraterrestrial reverse-engineered propulsion systems, but of course, scientific analysis and research have not supported any of these claims. The scientific community has not recognized element 115 as a stable or credible element. I mean, it makes sense because they've never seen it, so how could they? Lazar's credibility has already been heavily undermined by discrepancies in his educational and professional background. As previously discussed, Lazar's claims of attending prestigious institutions such as MIT and Caltech have been debunked, raising questions about his overall trustworthiness. These discrepancies create doubt about his ability to accurately analyze and understand the scientific concepts he presents as evidence, or doesn't present as evidence, because no one has actually ever seen any of these things. It's like me saying, guys, I discovered a new species. Oh, where does it live? It lives in a new environmental biome I recently discovered in the depths of Earth's crust. How did I discover it? Well, I found it with a new electromagnetic sonar solar lithium ray laser Bluetooth portable manual tracking pad. You've never heard of that? Yeah, well, I just reverse engineered it from the remains of a mole person society's abandoned relics. That's why you've never heard of it. I made it one night, while I was studying for my 7th doctorate. I may be pretty young to have a doctorate, but I was a really quick learner. Born at 20 years old in 2005 and graduated at 6 years old in 1992, first of every class. Do you see how what I just said makes no sense? That is how Bob Lazar sounds. He just answers a question with an even more ridiculous, nonsensical claim, but with a big word thrown in. Any evidence provided by Bob Lazar to support his legitimately unbelievable claims is questionable and seriously lacking in support. The absence of actual evidence, like tangible documents or physical samples, combined with inconsistencies and contradictions in all of Lazar's explanations, cast storms of doubt on the veracity of his claims. Number 1, work credentials. Lying on your resume is a pretty common occurrence, but Bob Lazar has taken it much further than simply adding an extra job at a local coffee shop onto your resume. Bob Lazar has made bold claims about his work history, saying that he was employed as a scientist at a top secret facility known as S4, where he alleges to have worked on reverse engineering extraterrestrial spacecraft. But who are we talking about here? That's right, Bob. So there are several inconsistencies and contradictions in Lazar's employment claims. One of the key aspects of Lazar's story is his supposed employment at the supposed S4, which he claims is a highly classified facility operated by the US government near Area 51. However, Lazar's descriptions of S4 and its operations have been addressed by official government statements. The US Air Force, which oversees Area 51, has denied the existence of S4 and any involvement in extraterrestrial technology research, stating that Lazar's claims are unfounded. Lazar's assertions about his specific day-to-day or big-picture job responsibilities and the nature of the projects he worked on have been called into question. In interviews, he has claimed to have worked on his special advanced propulsion systems and that he had seen 9 flying saucers at the facility. His descriptions of the technology he encountered have been extremely inconsistent and lack scientific credibility or critical thinking. George Knapp, who extensively interviewed Lazar, stated he couldn't answer basic questions about the science involved. He couldn't describe how the propulsion system worked, how the reactor worked. More inconsistencies have surfaced regarding Lazar's employment history at other companies. He's claimed to have previously worked at the Los Alamos National Laboratory, which is a renowned research institution, but again, for the millionth time, it's Bob. So no records have been found to confirm his employment there. Every single investigative effort to verify Lazar's work history have been met with dead ends. And again, I'm not sure what they mean by dead ends, because I'm pretty sure finding no record of a person at their former place of employment gives you a pretty solid answer if they work there or not. Bob Lazar's claims about his employment history, particularly his work at S4 and involvement in extraterrestrial technology research, are riddled with inconsistencies. The denial of S4's existence by government authorities, the lack of scientific credibility in his descriptions of the technology, and the absence of corroborating records from the DOE and other institutions all demonstrate the true nature of Lazar's work claims. That brings us to the end of today's video. Do you believe Bob Lazar? Could all of the attempts to discredit him actually be an attack ordered by the government? Write me an explanation for a crazy claim in the comments in a Bob Lazar-esque fashion. If I like your comment and you can make me giggle, I'll add it to one of my upcoming videos. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed my rambling, and of course, I hope you learned something. Keep it curious. Bye!